The book of Isaiah, chapter 51, verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. All right, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, rahah, double honors to the apostles and elders of great Millstone, and Shalawam to the hopeful elect. So this lesson is going to be in response to, right now there's another so-called viral movement on social media. Our people, you so-called Negroes, you've reached a point where you realize that the streets ain't it, man. All right, they have a F the streets movement, which is being forwarded by a bunch of degenerate rappers. And it really goes back into the times that we're in. All roads lead to the kingdom of heaven. All of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have realized that this society is not for you. Hip hop culture is not for you. Black culture, street culture, and really, you know, the whole ghetto mentality, which when you go into that word ghetto, it goes into the dwelling place of the Jews. It goes back to the Greek word Egypto, which is Egypt, all right? Which is spiritual, that the word ghetto actually means Egypt, which was the first place of our nation's captivity. And it's the final place of our captivity. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick since I said that. This is, I didn't have this, but this is a precept that every Hebrew Israelite should be well aware of. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And this is one of the curses that came upon our people for our disobedience against the Heavenly Father. It says, and Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. All right, Egypt again, all right, which Egypto is ghetto. So the Lord's going to bring you into ghettos again, all right, places of bondage, places of difficulty, all right. The word Egyptian in the Hebrew is matazarium, which means double straights, all right. You have difficulty on this side, difficulty on that side. No matter what you try to do, you're boxed in. And a lot of these jakes who have grown up in rap culture, street culture, they're realizing that, you know, there's nothing here for our people, all right? Even if you make so-called millions of dollars, you, at the end of the day, your family hates you. You have no integrity, all right? The people that you think are solid are going to turn on you. And ultimately, there's no hope in Babylon the Great for our people. Our hope is in the kingdom of heaven, which is the 12 tribes of Israel ruling on thrones in our homeland, which is being occupied by a bunch of gutter rats right now, all right? If you have a hope in the 90s coming back, if you have the hope in Big Meech, you know, reviving the streets, you're bugged out of your mind. If you have a hope in a 401k, all right, 30 years from now, you're going to, anybody who has a hope or vision of our people still being here years from now is bugged out of their mind, man. But I want to get some precepts to go into so-called street culture, which our people are rejecting. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 16, verse 6. It says, in the congregation of the ungodly shall a fire be kindled, and in a rebellious nation wrath is set on fire. Right, the streets is nothing more than a congregation of ungodly people. All right, you have people glorifying adultery, glorifying the use of drugs, the sale of drugs, which is witchcraft in the scriptures. All right, pharmakia in the Greek is really sorcery. All right, you're changing people's mental perception using drugs, but then you get in the studio and brag about it. How many drugs you could sell, how many people of your nation that you could kill. All right, because none of these trap rappers have any songs about killing Esau, Edom. All right, none of these bloods are going to ride against the boys in blue. The police wear blue every day. You don't tell them nothing. You don't do them nothing. You're only a menace unto your own people. And right now, the world can clearly see that the earth needs righteousness. The earth needs new management. All right, these so-called these elite bankers, the people that are in control in society, they have no place. They have no business running the earth. They're completely demonic. All right, they're destroying the quality of the water, the quality of the air, the people's minds. And so the earth is fiending for new leadership, new management. It tells you in Romans, the 8th chapter, that the whole creature, matter of fact, let me get that real quick. Everybody's waking up to who we are, and the world is waiting on you so-called black men to grow up, become holy, become righteous, and take your rightful place, which is the proper rulers of the earth. But you're still stuck on trying to be a rapper, trying to sleep with this man's wife, trying to prove that this nigga's a snitch. It's okay for him to snitch, but he can't snitch, and all of this madness, man. None of that has anything to do with our culture, which is the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible. But let me get this real quick. This is the book of Romans, chapter 8, and verse, I'm going to start at, I'll just get straight to the point. This is Romans 8, verse 22. It says, for we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. Right? The whole creature, the whole creation, man. starting with, Israel being that creature of the Most High, but really all of creation, man. The plants, the fish, you got fish beaching themselves. You got turtles with herpes. All right. All sorts of demonic frequencies being pushed with these 4G towers, 5G towers. You got radiation in the air. Ever since these devils got a hold of nuclear technology, they've been testing nukes. So every living creature on earth has a heightened radiation, man. Cancers through the roof, children being born with all sorts of diseases. Then you got the jab. All right. Hundreds of millions of people just permanently deformed and are going to die suddenly at any moment now. All right. Why? Because the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, and the righteous are actually running around trying to surpass the deeds of the wicked. Let me get that real quick. Because you have men that were born to be priests who are actually trying to be even more wicked than the wicked themselves. This is hold up a second. Yeah, I'm gonna start at 26. This is Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 26. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap. They catch men. Right. That's what our people do. You have these so-called OGs, which, coming up in the 80s, the older criminals in the society, they were ashamed. All right. They were ashamed that they were lowering the property value of their neighbors. They would sell drugs, but they would do it with shamefacedness, man. And they would protect the youth. They would be like, look, stay away from this. Now you have so-called OGs whose job it is to turn out the younger generation of black men, man. You find a kid, he's young, he doesn't have a father, he's impressionable. Instead of telling him the right thing to do, you say, well, wait a minute. We could put drugs on him. He's a minor, all right? So if he gets caught, he'll do less time. So we'll now use the youth as drug mules, man. You niggas are a bunch of sodomites, weirdos, and demonic entities. You make money off of destroying your own people, and then you've turned the culture out of bragging about it, all right? Hip-hop used to actually have some type of message. Then, the small hats, they took control of it, and now it's nothing but a factory of degeneracy. And all you niggas that made money doing that, you realize that you have no friends, you have no solace, you have no dignity. And so now the F the streets movement is being led by a bunch of degenerates that have realized that degeneracy is not the way. But they're not repenting. They're not coming back to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI. They're just trying to find some other hustle, some other way to make money. But it's not going to work because the Lord he's furious at you niggas, man. Matter of fact, let me read that Isaiah. I'm going to come back to the Jeremiah because I didn't read the second half of this precept. This is the book of Isaiah 51 and 20. It says, thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of YAHAWAH, the rebuke of thy power. Right? Our people are full of the fury of the Lord, man. The Lord is angry with our people. He's angry with the wicked every day. And he put his name on us. So we're actually defiling his name in the sight of the heathen. These heathen look at us and say, look, that's the perfection of beauty. Those are the Israelites. These niggas, tattoos on the face, drugged out zombies, bunch of weirdos. All right. Our daughters are whores. This is not the way that our nation was supposed to be. But that's, you could thank Esau, Edom, but also the wicked of our people. All right. Because you can't just say, oh, it's the so-called white man. Oh, it's the government. Oh, it's the record labels. Oh, it's the Jews. It's them. It's this person, that person. At some point as a man, you have to take accountability for the decisions that you make. We've all done it, especially those of us that are in the truth. We put off the ways of the world and say, look, this is off. The way I was living was not right. And there's a better way, which is in YAHAWASHI. Now, this is back in Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah 5 and 26. It says, for among my people, who are the Lord's people? The Israelites, you people of so-called Negro and Native Indian descent. That's who the Bible is written to. Every book of the Bible is about the 12 tribes of Israel. All right. The Gentiles in the so-called New Testament, those are Israelites that were Hellenized, that were scattered, that lost their heritage. The whole Bible is about the Lord's people, which are Israelites. All right. For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap. They catch men. And that's exactly what they do, man. These pastors, all right, these people set up by the boule, these people that have taken deals behind closed doors, all kind of clandestine activity. Then they come in your face and act like they're for your turn. They're setting up traps. And these F the streets niggas, all of them are snitches, man. There's no code of the streets, all right? The code is the law, statutes, and commandments of YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI. The code of the streets is just subjective. Okay, today, I'm a tough guy. Tomorrow, I'm gonna work with the police. All right, today, I'm a thug. Tomorrow, I'm gonna wear a dress. All right, today, I'm a upstanding person. I don't cooperate with the law. Oh, tomorrow, well, you know, I mean, the RICO, we're all going down anyway, so I might as well tell my side of the story. There's no code amongst you niggas, man. And why would you expect a code from a dirtbag? You have a group of degenerates who've decided to poison their own people and flood their communities with narcotics, but they're gonna keep it G amongst themselves. How you gonna expect a dirtbag to keep it real with you when he's selling crack to his mom? How you have what possible, anyway, it says, as a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore, they are become great and waxen rich. And a lot of these niggas made money, man. Most of them don't. All right. 99 out of 100 of them just die broke. But every once in a while, you get like a guy that's set up, which all of the men that are rich in this society from illicit behavior, they're set up, man. They're set up by the CIA. They have puppet, just the same way they set up puppet politicians in other countries. They set up puppet drug kingpins, man. Then they get tired of this one nigga. They put him to death, or they lock him up and then set up another puppet. All right. When the scriptures say the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, that means everything. The Amalekites, the so-called Jewish people, they're the wholesalers of everything. That includes cocaine and heroin. It doesn't just mean they're the wholesalers of rubber and plastic and fabric and things that are legal. No, they sell everything. All you niggas that are trying to be the next Al Capone, the next Tony Montana, the next this and that, you're ultimately auditioning to be a puppet with the so-called white man's hand up your backside. You're just a puppet nigga, man. He moves his hand and you start talking. You niggas, man, you have perfected the art of being coons to the point now where it's like, okay, you see that this doesn't lead anywhere. But again, instead of coming back to your heritage, instead of coming back to the truth, you're trying to find some way to still keep black culture going, man, which the Lord hates black culture. All right. The word black means death, void of light. And we're the children of the light. So there's never going to be a point where the children of light are going to thrive in black culture. That's a contradiction. It says, they are waxing fat, they shine. Yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. And who's the wicked? Going back to Malachi, the 1st chapter and the 4th verse, the wicked are these Edomites, the Idumeans. The so-called white man is the wicked. He's the wicked of the Bible. He's the devil. He's called the devil repeatedly. All right, you niggas, show me in the Bible where it says the white man is the devil. Just go in a Bible search, type the word devil, all right? That word is almost always talking about the Romans, man. Our forefathers called the so-called white man the devil, which he is. But today, our people have overpassed the deeds of the wicked, man. You try to be a bigger drug dealer than the so-called white man. You try to be a bigger thug than the so-called white man. You try to get more tattoos than the so-called white man. Here it is, his skin. He's allergic to the sun, all right? He came out, his forefather Esau came out red all over. His skin is translucent. You can see his veins. You can see his thoughts. You can see straight through his skin. So he uses his skin as a blank canvas. And here you black ass niggas, you trying to cover your body with tattoos that are barely visible. You're just that wicked, man. It says, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper. And the right of the needy, they do not judge, right? They actually prey on fatherless children, man. They go into a home, you know, it's a single mother, it's a bunch of kids. They'll prostitute the daughters and again, turn the sons into drug mules, man. You niggas are wicked as hell, all right? You think the Lord's not going to visit you for these things? It says, oh, that's the spirit. Verse 29, shall I not visit for these things, saith Yahawah? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? Right, you think the Lord's just going to sit back and watch you pervert his name, especially now that the world knows who we are, you know? Well, hold on a second. Sun kind of tripping. But yeah, now that the whole world knows we're Israel, you niggas don't have a cloak for your sin, which means not only are you going to be judged for the things you've been doing, now you're going to be judged for profaning the name of YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI. These heathens see exactly who we are, and you're still being niggas. You actually have rappers, Kodak Black, Kendrick Lamar, you have athletes like Kyrie Irving. You have a number of celebrity jakes that have come out and said, we're the Israelites. You people know who you are, and you're still voluntarily choosing to be wicked. So that just makes your sin even worse, because now you're profaning the name of the Lord. These heathen know who we are, and in the sight of the heathen, you're getting worse. Niggas are worse now than they were in the 90s, man. All right, and in the 90s, again, the streets had somewhat of a so-called code, or at least niggas would pretend to. Now it's just a free-for-all, man. A bunch of degenerate homosexual rappers in Atlanta, all right, snitching on each other, doing all sorts of foul things behind closed doors. And people are waking up to this, man. The one thing that's beautiful about being in these last days. You see Jake in the comment board, you know, these people leaving comments, they're aware of the boule, they're aware of, you know, certain satanic Freemason hand signals. They're afraid of, they're aware of the prison industrial complex. They know what's up with you rapper niggas, man. This newer generation, they don't grow up worshiping rappers the way we did. All right, we grew up just, everybody wanted to be Pac. You know, niggas was looking at DMX and all these rappers like, whoa, these are great men. Not knowing that they would, you know, just the vilest, the most perverse of our people. But this new generation, they're looking at rappers like, look at this bitch ass nigga, man. I can't wait till this nigga come to my city so I could rob him. All right, rappers getting robbed at an all-time high. They're getting unalived at an all-time high. So this cloak that you Jakes try to have, which is not a covering of YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, is being pulled. The Lord's pulling back that veil. It says, let me get this real quick. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 10. It says, my son, if sinners entice thee, consent thou not. If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as those that go down into the pit. We shall find all precious substance. We shall fill our houses with spoil. So if someone comes to you and entices you to sin, you're not supposed to go with them. It says, cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse. My son, walk not thou in the path with them. Walk not thou in the way with them. Refrain thy foot from their path. For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. And that's what ultimately the streets is all about, enticing men to commit wickedness. All right. You grew up in a particular neighborhood, whether it's a Blood, Crip, VD, GD, all of these gangs, all of these reprobate groups, they entice other men. Come join our gang. All right. Let's rob this person. Let's rob this old lady. Let's shoot this nigga. Those niggas over there, they're the ops. All right. The so-called white man is the ops. For you stupid niggas that's still trying to gangbang in 2026, all right, your ops are the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, all right, the Oppenheimers, all of these people that create weapons that keep you in the ghetto, all right, physical weapons, psychological weapons, spiritual weapons, those are the ops. All right, your brother, your cousin, all right, your first and second cousin is not the ops. All right, this nigga, he comes from the same family as you, but he lives in another zip code, so he's the ops. How simple can you be, man? This is... Let me get this in Hosea. This Hosea, the 4th chapter. I'm going to start at the top. It says, hear the word of YAHAWAH, ye children of Israel. There you go again. The whole Bible is written to the sons of Israel. It says, for YAHAWAH have a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of the Most High in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out and blood toucheth blood. Now this is black culture in a nutshell. Let's go through this again. By swearing. What is swearing? Swearing is not using curse words. All right. There's no such thing as a curse word in the Bible. Swearing is when you make an oath. All right. When you make an oath to join a fraternity, when you make an oath to join the Bloods, the Crips, some type of gang, when you make an oath to be a Freemason, when you make an oath to follow anything other than the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, that's swearing, which is black culture. All you niggas are part of some low-level Masonic group. All right, Prince Hall Masons, again, the Bloods and the Crips, those are low-level Masons. All right, Greek fraternities, those are Masons. All you niggas are low-level Masons because you swore, all right, by swearing and lying. Lying, that's black culture. Nigga lying about nothing, man. A nigga will lie about absolutely nothing for no reason. Nigga lying about all the bodies he caught, all the drugs he sold. Niggas lying on their dicks. Niggas just lying for no reason, man. That's black culture. Jake has this image in his head of being this tough guy, this street nigga. I was watching a video earlier. You have some old ass Jake in the truth, so-called in the truth. He was a so-called affiliate of Great Millstone. He made a video saying, y'all never been in the streets. Y'all never shot nobody. Y'all never been nowhere, like y'all never left the country. I'm like, first of all, you don't know us or what we've done. Secondly, why are you obsessed with violence? You're a grown ass man in your 40s reading the Bible, but you're talking about who hasn't shot anybody, man. That's crazy. Like, come down here in New Orleans. All you niggas that are obsessed with gun violence, come down to New Orleans, all right, the murder capital of the world, you know, so-called, and just go stand in the street. Prove how tough you are, man. You love violence so much. Nigga in Charlotte talking about the street, man. Like, come on, man. Which, that's another thing, man. Jake got this my hood is the toughest hood. We're all in the ghetto, man. We're all under the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. And the only reason any of us are alive is because of the sacrifice that YAHAWASHI made. But Jake has this, I'm tougher than you. I done been through more than you. I done shot more niggas, sold more dope. And these are Israelites that know that they're Israelites. They still have this street nigga mentality. They want to be a street nigga prophet, all right? They want to break down the scriptures and be holy priests and gangsters. They want to be gangster sheep. Like the elder said, there's no such thing as a gangster sheep. The Lord sent us as sheep among wolves. And Jake's still talking about how many bodies he had in the world, which shows you were never in the truth, all right? You never repented. You never put off the old man. All right, if you're a grown man on the street corner reading the Bible and you talking about how many niggas you shot in the world, you're bugged out and the Lord's gonna kill you. All right, you're not right. All right, priests don't brag about how many people they shot, man. What is wrong with you, nigga? What is wrong with Jake, man? The Lord gave you the precepts, he gave you this truth, and you still a nigga? What can the Lord do? He has to destroy you. There's no remedy. It says, by lying and killing, there you go. All right, you niggas in GMS, y'all never shot nobody. What? Why would you say something like that? Hole in the Bible, which that whole video, they didn't bring out one precept. Nigga was just going on an emotional rant, all right? But why would you brag about shooting people, man? But you're a Hebrew Israelite calling your people to repentance while bragging about the things you did before you allegedly repented. That's hypocrisy, all right? Deep down, you want to be a street nigga. You want to be seen as somebody by a bunch of degenerates that the Lord's clearly about to kill. You want to be the man to a bunch of niggas that have no hope, that have no future, all right? The only people that have hope is the hopeful elect. Our eyes on the kingdom of heaven, which is at hand. That the only thing you should strive to be is a man of Yahawah bahasham YAHAWASHI, a pillar in the temple of the Lord. But Jake, hey, it says, by swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, that's black culture, all right? I fucked your bitch. I got your baby mom in my passenger seat. I'm doing this and that with your woman, all right? Which all of these women are whores. So for you to brag about doing that to another man is off. And it's low-key gay. All right, this man that put his spirit in this woman, he put his seed in this woman. She has his DNA all in her bloodstream. And you got your face between her legs. All right, you kissing this woman. This woman is full of another man's DNA, and you bragging about what you're doing with her intimately, man. That's faggotry, man. Adultery is faggotry, all right? Sodomy and adultery go hand in hand. You with a woman because she's with another man. That's you're being intimate with another man while using a woman as a vessel to freak off with a dude, man. All right, in the kingdom of heaven, all our women are gonna be virgins, man. We're not gonna share DNA with other men. We're not gonna brag about what we did with another man's baby mom. There's not gonna be baby moms in the kingdom. What is wrong with you niggas, man? You niggas are disgusting. You got niggas bragging about being side dudes. Okay, well, this nigga pays the bills, but I just get to hit it for free. So I'm, what? What? If you're really the man, why don't you have your own women? King Solomon never bragged about sleeping with anybody else's woman, man. And he was the man, all right? YAHAWASHI said, what? There's one greater than Solomon that's here. All right, the 144,000 are not going to sleep with other men's women. We're going to have our own. All right, with you niggas, you don't even want your own. The so-called white man has convinced you that you're not supposed to have your own anything. You're not supposed to have your own land. You're not supposed to have your own language. You're not supposed to have your own women. You're not supposed to have your own culture. Here, nigga, take this. This is your culture right here. This is black culture. This is ghetto culture. Here, nigga, take this bitch. She's had 2 or 3 kids by 12 niggas. This is your wife now. All right, here's English. Here's Yiddish. This is your language. All right. Here's your land. It's a project building. Look, you niggas right here, you get to live in the Callio projects. You niggas right here, you get to live in the Magnolia projects. You niggas right here, you get the Melphamine. All right, you niggas get the 9th Ward, the 3rd Ward, the 17th Ward. This is where you niggas get to live. All right, the so-called white man tells you what your land is, then you get it tattooed all on your stomach, your chest, your eyelids. You a 3rd Ward this, a 9th Ward that. You from Brooklyn, he from Queens, he from Yonkers. All right, he from Southside Chicago, he from Westside Chicago. We don't really fuck with him. He can only wear his hat tilted this way. This nigga can wear his hat tilted that way. You niggas are a bunch of weirdos, man. The so-called white man has you niggas in a fucking hamster wheel and you're just running in place like Master P. You just jogging in place on a fucking hamster wheel, man. And it's sickening to watch, especially when you come into the truth, all right? We're kings and priests and you niggas are trying to be real niggas. In 2026, it's disgusting, man. The whole world is waiting for us to be kings and priests and to take control of the earth so that matter of fact, let me get this. for you niggas, man. This is Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Right? When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Everyone's going to rejoice when the Israelites are back on top. All right? The so-called black man, the so-called Hispanic man, the so-called Native American man, and all of our descendants that have been spread across all these nations, when we come back into our rightful position of dominion over the earth, the water's going to be clean again. All right? Our families are going to be strong again. Our daughters are going to be chaste again. Our sons are going to be warriors again. All right? The earth is going to know righteousness under the rule of YAHAWASHI, Mashiach, and the 12 tribes of Israel. And that's what everybody's waiting for. But Jake wants to perpetually stay a nigga, a real nigga, a street nigga, just a bugged out nigga, man. This is... Yeah, let me finish this Hosea. It's verse 3. It says, therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away. Yet no man strive, nor reprove another. For thy people are as they strive with the priests. Right. You niggas strive with the priests. The men that teach you righteousness, you call them lame, square, evil, all right, bums. You have all sorts of names for us for telling you the truth of the Bible, which is that you're the greatest people on earth and you have a responsibility to keep the commandments of the Most High. And you strive with us. You don't strive with the so-called white man that relegated you niggas to slums, barrios, and ghettos. Your problem was with us, the people telling you that you're the greatest people on the earth. All right? But guess what? The Lord is going to do away with 2/3 of you. We're not going to be out here preaching forever. We're not going to be uploading videos forever. And very soon, you're not going to be able to find the truth at all on the internet. When they scrub all of these Israelite videos, you niggas, you're going to call to mind, wait a minute. Those guys on the street, they were saying something was going to happen. They were saying martial law was going to happen. They were saying there was going to be a microchip that everybody would have to take in order to partake in society. When that happens, you know, as it tells you in Ezekiel, then shall they know a prophet have been among them. It says, verse 6, my people, Israelites, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power, I will also forget thy children. So since you've forgotten to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, the Lord forgot you, man. Hey, fuck these niggas, man. All right, you saying F the streets, the Most High saying F you niggas. All right, you niggas really have a problem with order, with righteousness, and you ultimately the problem with our people. You, number one, you have low self-esteem. All right, you niggas want to be the so-called white man. The black woman wants to be the so-called white woman. All right, and two, you love iniquity. You love sin. It feels good to you. All right, to feed your lust, to sleep with another man's woman. It feels good to you. All right, to worship idols. All right, we just had so-called Christmas, which the holiday spirit is all but gone from this place. But you niggas are still in that jovial spirit. You want to worship idols. All right, you know Christmas is satanic, but you want to celebrate it anyway, privily. All right, you niggas are just off, man. There's no hope for you but destruction. Let me get this. Yeah, I'll end with this. Lord willing, a point has been made. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 62, verse 10. Go through the gates, prepare ye the way of the people, cast up the highway, gather out the stones, lift up a standard for the people. And, you know, as it tells you in Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, there's a time to scatter and a time to gather stones. We're in the time right now of gathering the stones, those lively stones, which is the house of David. All right, those that repent and follow the ways of Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, those that hear the word and get cut and decide to repent, instead of those that hear the word and decide to become bigger niggas, all right, more reprobate, more scoffers. All right, there's a remnant that's being gathered to the word of the Lord. And we've been saying F the streets, man. When you come into the truth, that's the first thing you realize, F the streets. All right. You had a brother in the camp. I remember my first year in the truth, which was like going on 8 years ago now. Time flies. You know, like one of the first things he told me when I met him was like, you know, I hate the streets. Fuck the streets. All right. The streets kill everybody I knew. All of his loved ones. The streets just took them one by one. They either got locked up or most of them got murdered, man. And he, you know, through the spirit in the world, he was an actual street nigga, not a YouTube street nigga, not a rapper street nigga. He was an actual street nigga. And everybody that he loved, you know, is dead, man, or locked up. That's what the streets do to our people. But Jake Jake who has low self-esteem, especially Jakes that, let's say they don't come from a 2-parent household. They might come from, you know, a 1-parent household. They're raised by a single mother, but they're not actually in the streets like that. They look up to rappers. They look up to criminals. They feel like, well, this is a real man. He's really out there on the block getting it. So even though he's never done it, he looks up to these niggas, man. And that's a lot of these rappers, these niggas, all right? And again, niggas in Israel, a lot of y'all grow up in the slums, in the ghettos, and you feel like a street nigga is something to aspire to because you don't have examples. You don't have King Solomon. You don't have King David. You don't have Apostle Peter. You don't have Apostle Paul. You don't have Job. You don't have righteous men to look up to. So you look up to the nigga with the wife beater, all right, the nigga with the gold rope chain, the nigga that had a fat knot. He'll pull out a roll of 20s and pay for anything. And your mind, that's a man because he's not a junkie, right? He's not a degenerate. He's not a wino. He's not just on the corner, you know, just getting drunk. He's actually moving and shaking in the world. So you look up to him, but he's nobody to look up to. He's just somebody under the curses. He's an Israelite under the curses, all right, which most of our fathers were, which that's why the apostles always say, you know, try to make right with your father if he's still alive, because you don't know what he was going through, the hell the so-called white man put him through, the hell that your mother put him through, all right? Have some grace for your father, Jake, all right? And stop looking up to rappers, stop looking up to street niggas, all right? We're about to get out of here, man. The Lord is about to destroy this place and put us on thrones. That's the only thing that should be on your mind, not going back in the world and trying to make another 100 grand from running schemes. That's done, man. Esau, he has there's cameras on every corner. All right, your phone is listening to everything you say. There's no way you're gonna be the next Big Meech, man. What the hell is wrong with you? It's over. All right, get a job, get a CDL, get some type of legal hustle, get your daily bread, and that's that, man. You don't have to be rich in Babylon. We have the riches of YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI. And when society collapses, all of that money, that's not gonna mean anything anyway. The Lord's about to come back for his sons. So get your mind right, Jake. All right, F the streets, all right? I concur, but not for the reason that these niggas are giving, all right? So with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, Rachakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of great Millstone, and Shalawam to the hopeful elect. Shalawam.